begin with this special prayer. Naham manusyo na cha deva yaksha na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudra na cha brahmachari na grihi vanasthava bhikshu na cha aham nija bodha sarupaha. This is our goal. So we are studying the Saga of the Soul, the series of lecture that talk only to understand where actually we are leading to. This is the saga, the story of the soul, the human soul particularly, where it is going. Now, after going on the process, we have come to this Upanishad, and we have studied already the two Upanishads and the very famous Upanishad, Kathopanishad. Now we are studying. It gives the complete picture of this story where the soul is supposed to go, should go. Here we find Nachiketa, a wonderful personality, though very young in age, who was following a high moral value and could not understand why his father was behaving in that way, saying something and doing something else. So he sacrificed himself to save the father from committing the sin. And as a result, his father angrily asked him to die, go to the abode of death. And with great faith, this young person, he went to the abode of death, and after reaching over there, he found that the king of death, Yama, he is not there, he is absent, he has gone out somewhere. Though the others were inviting him to come, but he didn't do that. Why? An honorable person should not accept the invitation of the others, except the owner of the house. That is natural norm. So he was waiting there for 3 days, then the Yama came, and the ministers immediately told him, reminded him, that if you are insulting a person who is full of moral values, practicing every moment of his life, so the Brahmana, constantly thinking of the Brahman, the high moral values, spiritual values, if you are insulting him, hurting him in any way, all your good deeds, the result of your good deeds will be destroyed. So obviously it will be very difficult for you. So go and appease him so that he is satisfied. The Yama came and he, in a proper way, addressed the young boy Nachiketa and said, since, sir, you are waiting over here for me for 3 days, though I was not knowing that you will be coming over here, but anyway, I will give you 3 boons. And he already asked the first boon. And we know that the first boon that he told, Santa Sankalpa Sumanas Jatasyat Bitamanno Gautamo Mavimritto Tat Prasistam Mavibadet Pratita Etat Trayanam Prathamam Baram Brine. The first, he is making his own house all right. So that is the natural, that is very, very natural. All people, they think in that way. And he said, though his father cursed him, sent him out of the house, but as a son, he was not angry. He understood that the father, though he understood that his father, he made a mistake. And obviously, To rectify that, he has sent me. Angrily he said something, but it will take some time. So he is asking, O God of death, can you please reduce all the sins that my father has done and bless him that he can sleep well and he can recognize me when I return back from here? When a person goes in the abode of death, he is not supposed to come back. Even if he comes back, we call him the ghost. We do not recognize him, we do not accept him. So naturally, this young boy getting this idea, no, I am going to go back to my father and he should recognize me, and till then he should get proper sleep and free from anxiety and all this. Then afterwards he is telling, Swarge loke na bhayam kinchanasti na tatra tvam na jaraya biveti ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipase shokatigo modate swargaloke swatam agnim sargamadheshi mritto prabruhitam sraddadhanaya maiham sargaloka amritatvam bhajanta etadvitiyena brine barena. Kathopanishad, first chapter, 12 and 13 verses, slokas. In these two verses he is telling, because his first prayer was immediately accepted by the Yama, he said, okay, your father will recognize you, you will go back from here, and your father in the meantime will have proper sleep and peace of mind. Now your second boon he is asking. What he is asking? Very interesting. He is telling this, and in this one thing we must understand in the sloka number 11, where his father was addressed by the Yama in two different names, and he said that Audaloki Aruni. This is a very, very wonderful system of the society. The same person having two names. Why? Audaloki and Aruni. But his name was Gautama. Also his name was another, the first we understand. So why all these names? The Audaloki and Aruni, the old custom in India was like this. After the passing away, the father and in the family, the son is supposed to perform the final rite by offering the rice balls, the Shraddha as we call it. You are supposed to do that. But suppose it says a girl given in marriage with the condition, only that girl is there in the family and she is not having any brother, what will happen to that family, to the father and the mother? Her marriage in this way with the condition that her son would be counted as belonging to both the families, so that he can perform final rites of the departed of both the lines, of both the families. So that was the custom, that was the system. Maybe that Nachiketa's father was also having the same condition. The two families, two names of the two families, Audalaki and Aruni. So these two names, Yama, he mentioned. Now in the 12th and 13th verses, he is telling like this: Swarge loke nabhayam kincha nasti. In the heaven means Brahma Loka. We have to understand this. The Brahma Loka or Hiranyagarbha, all these lokas are different spheres. Swarga also a place where people they go. I will quote you from a wonderful report that has come out in a Bengali newspaper. Someone has written a wonderful article on that. So it says that the Brahmaloka or the Swarg, usually as we say, it is there and there is no fear. Why? Because you are not there. Nachiketa is telling there is no fear because, oh death, you are not there. So when the death is not there, so no fear of the old age, no fear of death. Moreover, in that world, in the heaven, no feeling of hunger or thirst, and naturally all overcome sorrow. All this sorrow, all this suffering because of only two things, the hunger and thirst. If these two things were not there, almost all the things were other people, almost all the people, they could take care. Now here it says, Swargaleki Amritatam Bhajanta. We will study from here in that sloka 11. It says, the Swargaloki in the heavenly world, the Bhayam Kincha na asti. Kincha, even a little, na asti, it is not there. What? Bhayam, the fear. Why? Because you are not there. Na bibheti, pipasa, etc. Now bibheti, there is, when the pipasa means thirst is not there and hunger is not there, so obviously people are very happy. Now in the 13th verse it says, Sattvam Agnim Sargamaddeshi Mritto. You are the person who is standing the threshold, on the threshold of birth and death. So you know it better. Can you please tell me what type of sacrifice? So he says Agni. Agni means the fire, the ritual that we do is actually sacrifice. What that sacrifice one should do so that he can reach to the heaven and can live at least for a long, long time happily without any fear. So he's asking in this way that how, O death, you know the fire, the sacrificial service which leads to heaven. Please tell me. Teach me about the fire. Why I am asking this knowledge as my second boon? Because the dweller of the heaven get immortality. Of course, is a related immortality. Here it means immortality, but Shankaracharya in his explanation he is still related immortality. It cannot be the permanent. Unless and until you realize the Brahman, your own nature, it cannot be permanent. But in Swarga, it's for a long, long time. Compared to the life of people on earth, the life enjoyed by the inhabitants in the Brahmaloka is very long, yet it is short from the standpoint of the Brahman. It is said in the scripture that in Brahmaloka, heaven, no death or old age, because the spirits, they live on nectar and ambrosia. There one person, in India we call it as a planchet, and also there are another name is also there, and the French name, and that planchet they call the death spirits, the spirits only, those who have already died. And the son came, son of Rabindranath Tagore, and the gentleman, he was very fond of sweets. So his father was asking, do you want to taste sweets? He said, only rasgulla, because it is liquid, I can taste it. And he tasted it. And his father offered, and many other things also, but it found only that rasgulla, that liquid portion was not there. So perhaps he took it. So that is, the scripture said, because they live on nectar and ambrosia, they do not experience thirst and hunger. Dwellers there are free from sorrow, fear, and other limitation of life. And this is called the heaven. Most of us, we know that a Theosophical Society was established in America, and it was established in 1875. It was established by two persons, one Helena Petrovna Blavatsky and Cornel Henry Still Albert. And these two, they started this only to research on this. And the 18th century and the first part of the, we can say the 19th century also, a lot of research, people were mad to know about it, the spirit and all. Annie Besant, she became the president of this theological society that was established in India also, because the Cornel Olcott went to the Bombay, and from the Bombay to he came to South India, particularly Madras, established also, and Annie Besant is a famous personality. Rabindranath Thakur's elder brother, Dijendranath Thakur, and his elder sister, Rabindranath's elder sister, Shwarna Kumari, were also attached with this society. Why I am mentioning these names? They were highly educated people. This Dijendranath, Shwarna Kumari, in that time in the society. That gentleman only researched on the Bengalis, so the mostly the Bengali names are coming. Maybe all over India people were there, and they used to say that to learn about this science you must go to Europe, because they have perfected to bring down the spirit, how to do it and all, and different systems were there. There is to be a medium through which the spirit is to either sometimes talk or to write or behave very peculiarly. They used to sit sometimes with three-legged table, and on the table they used to put their hands, and then when they are concentrating on a particular person, that person used to come and they used to ask the questions, and table leg will give the thumb. Though they are holding the table, it will go up and then make the sound. They were asking some questions like, can India be free from the clutches of the Britishers? Because that time the thought was going on. You know who came? Shivaji. They were concentrating on the Chhatrapati Shivaji because he was a leader who always wanted to be free. So he loved freedom. So Chhatrapati Shivaji gave the answer by knocking that 40 times, and exactly after 40 years India became free. Whether you believe it or not, but that is the story. It goes like this. So that means many of the educated people, and I can give you the name like this Setons, in the French it is called Setons, and in English Planchet, that was practiced by Keshav Chandra Sen, Arabinda Ghosh, you know these names, Pari Chand, Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, and the famous writer in Bengali Vibhuti Bhushan, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Raja Digambar Mitra. They are all very, the who's and who in those Bengal, they all were involved in it. And very interestingly, when Aurobindo was arrested by the British police, and what to do, somebody, a famous barrister is necessary to support him. Deshbandhu Chittaranjan was not at all interested, and he was that time away from Calcutta practicing this. And there one person came, Jatindranath, his spirit came and told in between, he was not invited, but he came forcefully, that particular spirit, and told Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das was a very famous not advocate, it's called barrister. You must support this Aurobindo Ghosh. His case you must take. So he came back and then took the case and helped Aurobindo Ghosh. So this type of things happen. When we are discussing about the young boy went in the abode of death, talking with death, coming back from the abode of death, and all these things we may think these are all bogus. But in very recent time, this was in the Upanishad time, Nachiketa. But very recent time, all these people, they practiced. Rabindranath himself, very fond of practicing this seance, he used to say, and he used to talk with his wife, Mrinalini, his daughter, Madhurilata, and his son, Shami. His son came over here in Chicago to study the agriculture. He studied in this university, and he passed away. And Rabindranath used to talk to them almost every day to get their company. He was so happy. You know, ultimately, I will give you the last account of this. 1945, 1946, India became independent. 1945, Rabindranath, after the death of Rabindranath Tagore, one Rajendra Lal Bhattacharya arranged Pret Baitak. Pret Baitak means meeting with the death. So Baitak means meeting, Pret means death. So meeting with the death. In that spirit of Rabindranath appeared, because Rabindranath was passed away in recent time. So they were concentrating on Rabindranath. Rabindranath's spirit came and they were asking, can you please give us any idea about the heaven, where you are, what happened? Then Rabindranath said, I met my father, that Devendranath Thakur. I met my father over here. He is here. In the beginning, I was in a dark place, terrible place. Then afterwards, some people came and they'd hold my hand and took me through the dark place to a very, very lighted place. And now I am in this place, lighted place. It is nicely decorated with flowers. And so many beautiful birds are also here. Life is full of joy. And then he said, you can mention in your book, quoting my words, that after death, nothing to be afraid of. It's a very good place. Of course, after that he said, of course, the place where I have reached needs a lot of good deeds, sukriti. Those who have done lot of sukriti, lot of good deeds, as a result of that only they go to the heaven where there is lot of light. And other people, they said there are places where people are tormented, not getting any food, not getting any water, not getting anything. They are regularly getting the punishments there. So we can understand Swarga and Narak, that conception. It is there somewhere. But Vivekananda will say something else that will come afterwards. And he said, it may be, but it is very limited. So why should you always concentrate on that? You know, in those days, whatever the thought comes in the society, it takes almost all people in the same flow. One of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, a young boy, that time he didn't come so close to Sri Ramakrishna, only got acquainted with him. Niranjanananda ji was a very strong person, and he used to become the medium for bringing down the spirit. Sri Ramakrishna understood, and he said, mentioned, I don't know, is there someone reported to Sri Ramakrishna, or he understood it in that way, and he liked that boy because he was having the spiritual power. He was choosing his direct disciples, his apostles. So he chose that boy and said, Niranjan, if you think of ghost, you'll be ghost one day. But if you think of God, you'll be God someday. So why don't you think of God? So Niranjan, afterwards, Swami Niranjanananda ji, he became really the Brahmagyani, God-realized person. Friends, I am mentioning this. The report has been published in a special issue of the Ananda Bajar Patrika. That's called Patrika only, the Sunday. There it has been mentioned. I don't know. I cannot give the authority, but he has given the references of many books in which there is a reference of Swami Abhidanandaji's book. Swami Abhidanandaji again was another direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He came over here almost 2 decades. He spreaded the message of Vedanta. But he was interested to know the truth about it and came in contact with the then great personalities who is to have the connection with the spirit. And Theosophical Society, even today, they believe there are spirits and you can contact them and they will help you a lot. There is a life after death. There is a Abhidanandaji's book is there, and there is a lecture by Swami Vivekananda is also there. So now this young boy Nachiketa, he went to the abode of the death, and first he prayed that let my father be happy and let me go back to the life of the world. And second, he was asking for the all. I have heard the people, those who go to heaven, they are free from all anxiety. I have seen people suffering. Suppose I go and tell them the secret and can help them to go to heaven, that will be a great thing. Can't you help me? So he was asking, please tell me all that secret by which I can send these people. Swarge loke na bhayam kincha nasti. Kincha means very little. Na bhayam. Na tatra tvam. Na jaraya viveti. As because na tatra, there, tvam, you. Na jaraya viveti. And naturally, there is no fear to become old, jara. Ubhe tirtha asanayam pipase. Shokatigo modate swargaloke. The Saturday I was hearing the Saturday, every Saturday we have Sanskrit learning class. The one gentleman comes, he is a very nice person, he teaches. They were all going on. I was just walking over there, I could hear. They were discussing about the moda. What is that moda? Moda, pramoda, the Sanskrit word. The modate means in great joy. And that's why there is a sweet name, Modak. The Ganesha is very famous of it, fond of it. The Modaka means joy. So that is not that particular sweet, it is the joy, the Modaka. Shokatigo, how one can become happy? When one goes beyond the shoka, the suffering. Shokatigo modate swargaloke. So please tell me, swatamagnim swargamadheshi mrittu prabruhitam sraddhadanaya mayam. Sraddhadanaya mayam. I am self-confident and I am sure whatever the teaching that you will give, I will utilize it properly. I will never misutilize it. So that is called Sraddhadhana. I am self-confident. If you give me the secret of that by which one can reach to the heaven and can get all joy in their life, I will never misutilize that tremendous power that you will give to me. That is the way he mentioned Sraddhadhana. Maiham, I am who is self-respected. I am self-confident. So please tell me that. Sarga loka amritatvam bhajanta eta dvitiyena brine barena. I want to help the people. First, I want to help my father. Second, I want to help the people. So this is my second boon. Please tell me. And there was no hesitation for the death to tell. Let people go to heaven, and if the people are not coming to hell, that his workload will be less. Perhaps he was very happy. As a people, if they are going to the hell, it is so difficult to control them, give them punishment, keep all record, send them back again, all these things. So Yama was happy to give the boon, and immediately he said, surely I will give it to you. Prate brabhimi tadume nibodha swargamagnim nachiketa prajanan anantalokapti matho pratishtham viddhi tametat nihitam guhayam. But it is Upanishad. They will never speak in a different way. They will always tell the truth. So sure, I will give you this. Why? Because this is the knowledge which is enshrined in the heart of the knower of Brahmans. Only those who have understood it, the person of knowledge. What is the knowledge? See, every time if you read the Upanishad, they will talk about the knowledge, knowledge and knowledge. Hinduism is based on knowledge. Please remember it. Hinduism has so many stories, millions of stories. And every day somebody will be going on writing some story and put it in the name of Hinduism. But Hinduism only believe in one thing. That is knowledge. And what is that knowledge? In the language of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the definition, to know God is the knowledge. And all other things that you are knowing, that is ignorance. Ishwar ke jana, gyan. And all other things, agyana, ignorance. So the knowledge, he said, see, this is prati brabhimi, o Nachiketa, being well aware of the fire that it is conducive to heaven. I know that. Here it mentioned fire with a capital F. Why not the small f? Why? Because this fire is a particular type of sacrifice. It's a God himself. They said in the Hiranyagarbha, now the Brahman, all pervasive consciousness, next day we will discuss about that he cannot or that cannot produce anything. Why? It is only consciousness. So from that consciousness produced one thing out of its own, and that is called Hiranya, means golden, Garbha. And Hiranya Garbha, and there he started producing everything. Same God, same consciousness. Now it was totally pure. In this October, when we will be discussing about the Tantra in our Ganges retreat, so that points I like to bring so before you, that the first, you will see that one picture of goddess Kali, there one Shiva is lying like a dead. It is purely dead. Eyes are closed and not active at all. Then from that is called pure Brahman, no activity. From there comes another Shiva. That Shiva, above this Shiva, now his eyes are open, that much. That means is awake. Knowledge is working. From that knowledge comes the activity, that is goddess Kali, sitting on the Shiva. The beautiful way of explanation, this is Tantra and this Vedanta. Vedanta says in a pure way, and Tantra always gives some ideas for the ordinary people to understand. So first this Shiva, then another Shiva, then the goddess Kali. So here also we find the Hiranyagarbha. The Hiranyagarbha he is producing, and there all these things are coming. I know about that. That particular work, if you do, then you will reach over there. What is this heaven they are talking about? We will understand afterwards. I shall tell you of it. That very thing you understand with attention. This is very, very important. You have to be very, very attentive to understand the religion. Otherwise not. So some people, they come for initiation and then sitting, Swamiji, can you complete it within 10 minutes? So I have to. So very quickly, I think you better come some other day when you are having some still time. That will be better. Because you have to put your whole mind, otherwise it is impossible. That you have to first purify your external body, then internal body, the mind, attention completely focused on these, and then only you will get that, the name of God, of course, and you know that. But still that particular name, when is coming from a particular person whom you are going to accept as your guru, with a complete respect, complete faith, that will work. So that is the main thing. So here it says, see, I can tell you, but you have to be attentive. Just what did you say that? Is it like this or like that? It won't work then. So one time only I can say. Second time I won't be able to repeat. So he says that O Nachiketa, I know about that fire, I will tell you about that, but you must listen, understand with attention, and then only it is possible, otherwise not. That's called Nibodha. Understanding or reading a particular thing with complete attention, that is called Nibodha. There is a beautiful magazine, every month it is publishing by the nuns of the Ramakrishna ideology. They are called Sarada Mission. As we have Ramakrishna Mission for the boys, the same way the girls also, the ladies also can become the nuns in the same ideology, and they have a different institution, and that is called Sarada Mission. Very highly qualified girls, they are there, ladies are there. They publish one magazine called Nibodhata. This Nibodha means understanding perfectly with all attention. That fire, which is the means for the attainment of heaven and which is the support of the world, know it to be established in the intellect of the intellectual one, enlightened one. Now the last line, what he said, Biddhi Tvameva Nihitam Guhayam. Nihitam, it is there in the Guhayam. Guha actually, if you translate, is a cave. Guha means cave. Here the cave means intellect. Is in the intellect of the people, and then only if you listen to it, then only it will be possible. So you have to repeat what I say. I am going on telling you, and it is not so easy. Not only a name, all the arrangement of the bricks. You know, the yajna, if you go and see a different type of arrangement, again this is also tantric. It's called jantra, tantra, yantra, mantra. These are the three steps in the tantra. The yantra is a special way you have to perform. When you do the puja over here, if you see, sometimes they will put little water and then they will do something marking. That is the yantra. First there will be the triangle, then they will make it 4, same type of same measurement, and then it is going to be the round. So this is the called yantra, and that gives actually, and now we do it very casually, but those who are performing perfectly, they get the result. So he is telling, I will tell you this, but you have to remember. And he said, sure, I will remember. Lokatigam tamu vacha tasmai ya ishtaka javatirva yathava sachapi tat pratyabadat yathokta Mathasya mrittu punarebaha tushta. Now, this Nachiketa, the young boy, very intelligent, very attentive, he heard all those, remembered each and every word, and then in verbatim repeated those things to the god, the Yama. Then Narendranath, this young boy, hardly 6 years, 7 years, was a very naughty, and he used to lie down and ask his private teacher to read. It's because his father was very rich, and in those days the teachers were very poor people. Maybe the teacher was not very happy with this student, but what to do? Well, he is getting some money from his father, so he used to obey. But then afterwards, when he used to check, I am telling all these things, I am reading out 2-3 pages from the book. Do you remember it? Do you understand? Are you understanding? Verbatim, the young boy used to lie down like this and listen, and then he will go on repeating. That is called Shraddha. And now much afterwards, this young boy who became Swami Vivekananda, he was traveling in different places. Then they went to the UP, Madhya Pradesh, Meerut. And in the Meerut, they were staying in a garden house of a rich man. And 3-4 brothers, monastic brothers, they were all there. And what to do? And Swami Vivekananda used to go on collecting the knowledge. So he asked his brother disciple, can you please go to the local library and bring some books from there? The young brother went over there, and they gave him the Britannica, that huge dictionary. The first volume, he went on looking at the pages, and sent the next day change it, the second volume, third volume. Then the librarian told, who is reading it? Is a young boy just looking at the pictures? This is not for the young boys. These are all informative books. Lot of knowledge is there. Simply going on changing the pages and looking at the picture, that is not for this. He came being insulted and told, because of you, this man is telling like this, you are not reading, simply going on changing the pages. And now he said that it is not for the young people to go changes the pages. The Narendranath, Vivekananda said, please invite him. I have completed 4 volumes of the Britannica. So you bring him any place, any page of any volume, ask him. If I cannot answer, I won't read. And that man took the challenge, the librarian. He came, maybe some other people also. And he was asking from different pages of different volumes without mentioning. Immediately, Vivekananda told the volume, page and the subject. This is called Nachiketa. So he used to say, have that self-confidence, you can do it. Only 12 years of complete attention to your subject, and you can do that. So Nachiketa, verbatim, he said, it is possible, I will tell you. And afterwards, Tamabravit priyamano mohantma baram tabi adya dadami bhuyaha tabaiva namna bhavita ayamagnihi sukshma chetaham eka rupam grihana. Now, Yama was very, very happy. When there is a very good student who can understand things, the naturally teacher is happy. Of course, the teacher should also be competent teacher. He wants to give, he knows so many things. And when he gives that and the student is understanding properly, there is a great joy. They don't want anything else. And that's why he says in the Upanishad again, it says, you can make your guru satisfied by questioning. Go and ask the proper question and he will be very happy. And offering the other food and this thing, that thing, it is okay. But if you can ask the real question, proper question, guru becomes very happy. The next step, the next step, the next step. So here Yama, the guru at present, of the Nachiketa, when he told everything verbatim without any fault, He said, I am so happy, my boy. I am giving you an extra boon. What is that? This particular sacrifice will be named after you. It will be Nachiketa Agni. And the Agni means the fire. The name of the Agni is Nachiketa. So whoever will perform this and will get everything, whatever they want. And in the 17th sloka, it says in a beautiful way, Trinachiketas sandhim trikarmakit tarati janma mrittu brahma yagyam devamidyam viditva nichayumam shantim atyantam eti. Eti, this. Shantim, peace. Atyantam, eternal. Beyond this, nothing is there. So I will give you, and then it says, you have to make the sandhim. You have to understand it, get it from 3. This is high moral values. Only from the 3 persons you have to serve them, satisfy them, and then only you will get it. Who are these 3 persons? They call Triviretta Sandhim. The 3 union, Sandhi means union, Triviretta, 3 means 3. Who are these? That is called, first is your mother, second is your father, third is your Acharya. Mother, father, Acharya. These are the 3 persons. If you can satisfy them with your service, then only you will get. The one young boy is a very an energetic student of Vedanta, I can say. All the time going on asking, and once he picks up the phone, it is minimum 1 hour. So I told him it is best when I take the walking, it is 1 hour, you give the call. So I can do both the things together. One day he was telling, my mother has come, father has come. Now the problem is with the mother is never listening to me, and what she wants I cannot understand what to do. Sometimes the mothers are like that. I told, but you have to go on listening to her, and better keep the father in between to satisfy. And because you do not know, you are away from the mother, what type of things she wants and this and that. Sometimes it goes on. You have to make her satisfied all the time, but whatever way. But of course there should be some practical thing too. So this is the main thing, and it says the 3 persons you must go. One who getting connection with the 3 piles up Nachiketa fire thrice, undertakes 3 kinds of work, crosses over the death, then only mrittu mukhat, then only beyond the death. That means eternity. How? First 3 persons you must learn from them and get the blessings from them. Second, the thrice, the fire, that means 3 times a day, in every day 3 times you must practice that and undertake 3 kinds of work. What are the 3 kinds of work? That is also very interesting. They say yajna. You must perform something which is better for the betterment of others without any interest. Yajna doesn't mean that you have to lit a fire and pour the ghee. Yajna means performing any work without any expectation, any return for the benefit of the others. That is called yajna. In the Bhagavad Gita also it says, Sri Krishna says, yajna, dana, tapa, karma, natajyam, karjameva tat. Yajna, dana and tapa. These are the 3. Yajna means performing something for the betterment of others. This is called yajna karma. Sometimes some people, they are in the hospice, they are all alone. If we go, sit by their side, talk to them, listen to their sound, that is also yajna karma. Not that all the time you have to give something. Only going and give through your presence, through listening. Sometimes some people having some agitation, they want to speak and there is no one to listen. So if you quietly listen to them even, that is also yajna karma. Even sometimes we have seen when you are going, something is fallen over there, maybe that some other people without noticing may meet an accident just because of that little thing. If you remove that, yajna karma. So that is called yajna karma and dana. I have earned myself something, I have worked, I have earned, then again without expecting any result, if I can give from that, it's called dana. Not that there's some other things have come now. The dana karma is very difficult. Sometimes it creates problem for the people like us, because we have so many projects. So we have to go on doing this and that, and we don't have money, only the thoughts. We don't have people, we don't have money, no resource, only thought. And we are going on planning the big things. Then naturally what happened? If anybody comes and gives an offer, that same thing happened to a father. This is a funny story, it's not true. Then what happened there? One gentleman suddenly got, I think, a few millions dollars in that lottery ticket. But his family were afraid to announce that to him, because maybe that out of excitement he may die. Sometimes it happens. So they were thinking what to do. The father said, no, I will do it, because he listened to me. I will go and tell him. Then he went and said, John, suppose you get some $1 million, what you are planning to do? 1 million is not much. Then 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, like that it went on, 50 millions. He said, John, suppose God gives you 50 millions through that ticket that you have purchased, what you are going to do? Then John said, 50% I will give it to you. If I really get 50 million, 25 million yours. Are you sure that you are going to give 25 millions to me? Yes. Father died. So this is the problem, that when we go to help others, we are having so much within us, then what will happen? So here we find, it says only 3 things. Only 3 people, only 3 things. 3 people are so close to us. Mother, father, acharya means the teacher. Because without them, we cannot survive, we cannot learn anything. The mother, she gave me so much, sacrificing days after days, years after years, giving me the comfort and everything. I have seen the mothers, they are putting all that they were having to give the warmth to that baby, but herself was shivering in the cold. So that is the sacrifice the mother always they do. If they don't do, they are not mothers. Only women, that's all. Only ladies, that's all. But the mother, it means this service. And here, this mother, when you learn from her so many things, you must be grateful. Second, the father, earning, working hard, and whatever he is having, giving to the children, all the time thinking best for them. So that is first. Third is acharya, the teacher. Now the concept of teachers have changed. Pay me more, learn from me more. If you are not paying, I am not giving. They are not teachers. They are not acharya. Here the acharya means they were so dedicated. They used to go to the house of the student to see whether he is studying or not. His parents are not taking care, but the acharya will go secretly, and from the window they will observe that they are studying, and if not, they will go inside and beat. So all this they used to, you must learn, you must learn, you must learn. That was the conception of the acharyas. So you must be always grateful to your acharya. These 3 persons so close to us. 3 things so easy for us to do. 1, yajna, doing anything for the betterment of others without any expectation. That is called yajna. Dana, whatever I have earned, I am sharing that with others. Dana. And Veda Adhyayana. Veda Adhyayana means learning, always studying the scripture. Unless you study the scripture, you won't get the inspiration. You need the inspiration, you need the guidance. Otherwise, how you will able to continue? We won't be able to continue any good work unless and until we are having constant inspirations. And that comes from the Veda. Veda means knowledge. And that is the reason one must read, at least to understand the spirituality, those books written by or spoken by those people who have realized God. Unnecessarily, some people going on every day, they are publishing one book, going on writing, and then problem is ours. They will be constantly writing to us, sending us book, please sell this book for me. Who for the first time asked you to write? I didn't do that. So this type of people, they think they are having the command over English and they can do it and they will write, and the problem with them, they are not satisfied. But the real people will never do that. They will only give when it is asked. Knock the door. It will be given, the door will be open unto you. Unless and until you are knocking the door, that is the words of Jesus, knock the door, then only it will be open unto you. Unless and until you are going to these holy people, asking, begging, prayer, and with the humbleness, praying to them, you will never get this. So that is called the Veda Adhyayana. With the great concentration and devotion, we must study this. These are the three things he was telling that you must do it. And then in the 18th sloka he said, Trinachiketas trayametad viditva ja evam vidwan anute nachiketam sa mrityupashat purata pranadya shokatigo modate swargaloke. Again, he is going to have the enjoyment of the heaven by these three things. Nachiketa, now the name of that particular yajna that the Yama has taught is this three. One who performs the Nachiketa sacrifice thrice after having known these three factors, and he who having known thus accomplishes Nachiketa sacrifice, cast off all these things, the snares of the death, and even earlier and crossing over the sorrow, rejoicing in the heaven. Now this is the part of the stopping the sorrow. How to go beyond this? This is the way. And when we reach over there, as Rabindranath himself was telling, that I am in a place where everything is lighted, beautifully decorated, all happiness, even many people are there. But to reach over here, you have to perform many good deeds. Sukriti. Sukriti means unless and until you perform good deeds, you will never be able to reach. Even when we are criticizing others, thinking bad about others, that is also dushkriti. That's again the bad type of work. I am not hurting physically, mentally, dangerous thing. So one must be very, very careful. That's why the Hindus every day they will be praying that everybody be happy everywhere. That is the prayer of the Hindus. Everyone they used to do. Everyone all over the world, whoever there, let them be happy. Sarvastaratu durgani sarvo bhadrani pashyatu sarva sadbuddhimapnotu sarva sarvatra nandatu. And that is the great work. Every day, morning, sincerely looking at the sun, if we do that, oh sun, oh, you are giving light to each and every one without any discrimination. and without any expectation. You are going on giving the light so the life in this earth can continue. You are a great. So make me like that. Let my prayer be for the betterment of others. That prayer is also yajna. And that way, when I am thinking and sharing that with others, helping other people also, giving them the guidances, that is also dana. And to do this constantly, you have to have the backup, inspiration, or after a few days, you will feel empty. So you must go on reading, attending, or listening to the great inspirational words. Then the inspiration will come and you can continue, otherwise not. So that it says, and in the 18th chapter, it says, this is the way you must. Then in the 20th sloka, Nachiketa is asking, Iyam prete vichikitsa manushye astitteke nayamastiti chaike etad vidyam anushistastayaham baranamesha barastritiyaha. This is the third boon, bara tritiya, third boon, 20th sloka of the first chapter, Kathopanishad. And what he is asking this time, the young boy? First time, make my father happy and please allow me to go back, all this. Second, for the others, let them go to heaven. Third, for the real knowledge, immortality, the knowledge of the self. Unless and until we have that, even after the Swarga, even after the heaven, even after enjoying the stay over there, you have to come back. Why? Because this is depending on the balance of your shukriti, balance of your good work. And naturally, whatever you accumulate, someday it will be over. So whatever the stock you are having and you are going on spending, one day it will be over. So obviously, even when I am going to heaven, and over there I am not performing anything, so whatever the stock good work that I was having, I enjoy with that, then someday some people will come and say, zero balance, go back. Again you have to come back. And in the Upanishad again it says, Nakasya prishtite sukrite anubhutive. Sukrite, the good deeds that you have done, anubhutive, enjoying, Nakasya prishtite, in the heaven, that's called Nakasya prishtite. Nakasya prishtite sukrite anubhutive, then imam lokam, maybe you will come back as a human being in this world. Hinataramba vishanti. Hina, beyond this human birth, maybe you will go and will have some very, very peculiar births. So one must be very, very careful. The Hindus goes on telling like this, but the very difficult thing is to believe it. I am very happy now. When a young man, if you go and talk about that you should not eat this, you should not do that, because it is harmful and all this, they don't bother. Oh, this old man constantly say like that, don't bother about him. Then afterwards, when the health is broken, then slowly they start understanding this. When I was a young boy, I used to see the elderly people, they are holding their books like this and reading. So I thought, oh, that is just fashion. So I was also practicing like that. Someday someone told you need not to bother about that. The day will come, you will have to hold the book like that. So this is the, when you are having your eyesight good, you don't understand that. It is so important. When the breathing is continuously going on, we don't understand this is so important. Similarly, when our life is there, when we can do, we don't think that this is important. We waste this life. You ask the people who are going on smoking, telling them that this is bad for your health, something will happen to you, never bother. But when something happens, then they go on running here and there. This is the scripture. The scripture, like mother, like father, like acharya, goes on guiding us. Be careful. Whatever you have got is precious. Utilize that. Use that. Only three things: yajna, dana, and uddhayana. That's all. These three, if you do, then your future is secured and you will go and know the knowledge that Nachiketa is asking in the 20th sloka. And that is about the Brahman, the Atman, the eternal. In the next class, we will discuss about that. Let us chant this mantra again before we close. In Kathopanishad, we are supposed to chant in this mantra. Very simple, 2 lines only. Please repeat after me. Om Sahana Abatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Adhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Friends, there are some announcement. You'll be very happy. This lecture series, there's one boy, he takes down the 25 lectures and then makes a CD. This is the first CD on the Saga of the Soul that the lecture series is going on. 25 lectures you will find. This is newly come. You can get it from our bookstore. And there are other also. There is Panchama Veda every Tuesday evening, the lectures that I am giving. Now 4 volumes. The 4th one is the new, and there was 3. And why we should meditate? This we have already completed. That is the Patanjali Yoga Darshan and discussions on the mind and all those things. Then every 3 months we publish one magazine. We call it Chicago Calling, and that is the e-zine. It is available in our website. If you go, you can read online, or those sometimes like me, I cannot read in the computer. I always take the printout and read. So if you like to read in that way, they call hard copy. This is also available and is in $3, something like that. Huh? So these are the things. Bus announcement is over, but there are 2 more. One, this 9/11, that is 9th September, we are going to have a wonderful program that's called Fall Banquet. It will be in what is that area? That place called Meadows Club, and you can come over there. This time there will be a show where the gentleman will show the 11th September 1893 what happened in the Parliament of Religion through leisure show. It's very interesting. But you have to book your ticket within a day or 2 because it will be closed. That particularly that Meadows Club, they told us to give the final count, that we have to do that. Because otherwise it will be very difficult. Food arrangement and everything, table arrangement, please come over there. And in the end of this month, Swami Ishatmananda is coming. Many of you know him. He's a very good speaker, very simple Swami. And this time you will be speaking about the Christ, imitation of Christ. Very interesting way. That also retreat will be in the Ganges in the Michigan. All you can stay over there, everything will be there. You can spend a weekend, Friday evening, whole Saturday, Sunday morning with many other devotees. It's a beautiful place. I will also be there. Welcome to all of you and thank you for attending this program.